Now we got this interesting video, an interview with Tucker Carlson and conservative Ted Cruz. And as you can see here, it got 3.8 million interactions. Let's see why that is.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah,
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's,
because,
it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay, this is cute.
It's not even... You don't know anything about Iran. So
okay, I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
don't know anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe that...
We're carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting
Israel.
Israel.
High stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Okay. Now here's the interesting part. You have three groups of people. I think like I'm in the smallest percentage imaginable given by what I'm seeing in the comment section. The first group of people are the ones that are justifying it, and they're basically saying, well, why does it matter, the ethical demographic? What does any of this have to do with it? Israel is our strongest ally. We need to intervene. Like, it doesn't matter, right? And then you have the second group of people that are on the opposite side, and they're basically saying that, Ted Cruz is unprepared, look at what he is doing, like, this is unacceptable, I'm not dying for a foreign country, and all that other stuff, you know? And so the question is, like, what is the third group of people, the one that I find myself in? Well, the third group of people, stop making it about the current issue. Like, I generally do not make it about Iran. I do not make it about Ted Cruz. I do not make it about Tucker Carlson. I make it about systems. Like, this is the way the system is functioning, and it's working as intended. This is normal, right? And when you realize that this is normal, you manage to go into a level of existential horror and dread. Because if decisions that are about warfare, that are about massive destruction and loss of human life is done in this manner, well, it goes to show that every decision is probably done in the same manner. And what do I mean by this? Well, what I mean by this is that, you know, the illusion is that the politician is a self-thinking individual, right? Like he has a brain, and he uses that brain often. And so when it's a matter of great importance, like a war, for instance, you would think that the politician would sit down, he would analyze the situation, maybe listen to his constituents, maybe create some policy that he believes is good, and he is making it, whether it's something that you agree with or whether it's something that you disagree with, you believe that at least the politician has analyzed the situation, passed it through his own brain filter, and then came up with an outcome that he believes is just. And then you're horrified to realize that, no, this is not the case. And this is not the first time that I've been horrified. The first time that I've been horrified, and again, like, people made it about that particular incident rather than realizing that it's a system. And so bringing it up now might make people realize what I was talking about back then. If you guys remember, there was this super Nazi that the Canadians brought into their government. Did you guys remember that? Like, all the Canadians were in the parliament, and they were applauding this guy that fought in Ukraine back in World War II. And I was like, hold on a little bit. Like, if he fought in Ukraine back in World War II, Like, wasn't he on the Nazi side? And then you check and you realize, yeah, he was a member of the SS. So they brought like an actual member of the SS in the Canadian government and made everyone applaud and clap for him. Now the situation in itself, you can justify that, okay, well, maybe they didn't know, right? Like surely they were misinformed. Like, had they known that the guy is a Nazi, no one would have applauded, right? But then you have to wonder, it's like, why did everyone applaud? Like, why did not a single person in that room fact-checked? Did the exact same thing that I did? You're like, hold on a little bit, right? Because you're supposed to have, like, some basic knowledge of history. Like, especially if you care about the conflict in Ukraine, you should at least know a little bit about that country, right? And so when you hear, oh, this guy fought during World War II, you're supposed to wonder, well, hold on a little bit. Which side? And after your own brain asks that question, all it takes is a Google search. All it takes is to take out your smartphone, Google the guy's name, and you can find out exactly which side he fought. And the fact that not a single politician decided to do that tells me not a single one wanted to use their brain that day. Or if they did, they were cowards. Why? Well, because the way politics work is through consensus, right? Like, no one actually cares. No one gives a shit anymore. It's like, what is the consent? What are we doing with this? And they're being informed. This is how you need to feel about this issue. And so they don't even bother reading it. They don't even bother getting informed. They don't even care. And again, it's not about warfare. It's not about, like, geopolitics. But why can't I assume that they do this with everything? Like when it comes setting up a new tax or taking away one of your freedoms or, voting so that corporations get more stuff at the expense of the customer. Why can't I assume that this is normal? That this is the actual standard in modern society? Where politicians are just rubber stamping. Now, the question of, whether or not, like, let's go back to the actual issue. Like, is it important if Ted Cruz knows the population, the ethnicity? I mean, it is. I would say it is, because if you want to do regime change, the hope is that the new regime is going to be better, right? But if you're not even interested in seeing, like, okay, what is the demographic of the population? What do they actually want? A lot of Westerners, like, do not comprehend that there are people out there that genuinely do not value democracy. Like, for example, you have groups of people that want Sharia. They literally want Sharia. If you get them the ability to vote, they vote Sharia. Right? And so, if you topple their regime, the next one will probably vote Sharia. And it's democratic. Right? Until it's not. But this is the reality. Like if you're not even interested in seeing, it's like, okay, who's the next guy that's going to be propped up? Like, what are the other people thinking? Is this like an authoritarian regime that forces people to think this way? Or is it a grounds-up thing? Like, there are a lot of people, believe it or not, especially through human history, that lived into some of the most brutal and authoritarian regimes imaginable. They were called monarchies. And those people actually loved their king. Those people actually loved their dictator. Like, there are dictatorships. Like, for instance, even in Romania, there are people that still like Ceausescu. There's people today that like Pinochet. So, like, my point is, like, if you go with this Western mentality, it's like, oh, well, if there's a dictator, everyone hates him. Well, let's see what happened during COVID with our governments, right? When the governments decided to shut down businesses, decided to crack down on freedom of association by, the trucker protest in Canada and all that stuff, right? Did people hate the authoritarian government? Most of them supported it, right? And so this is my point. It's like, if you're not... If even the leaders of our nations, the politicians, do not know, like, the very basic facts about the nation they want to perform regime change. Like, no one is saying he should actually know the exact number of the population, like 92.5 million, but at least, tens of millions, like 70, 80. And then it's also the fact that the politicians, they lack rhetorical abilities. They don't know how to debate anymore. You don't have your Churchills anymore. You don't have your leaders that actually know how to talk to an audience. Because if I was there and I, to be honest, don't know the actual ethical makeup of Iran, I would have told Tucker, well, Tucker, it doesn't really matter what they are. Like, what matters is the fact that they're a threat to our national interests in the area, and they can be like whatever ethnicity they want. We're not regime changing them because of their ethnicity. And secondly, in the Middle East, ethnicity is not as important as religion. And I know that they're Shias, right? Like, that would have been a different way of framing the argument in a way that would make you save face. But the reality is that most politicians, especially the American ones, they do not go to debates. They do not go to places that are hostile, where they're being challenged and pressed by the opposition. Instead, what they do is they read a prompter, they have a PR team that tell them exactly what script to read, and that's pretty much it. And they all bank on morality. Like, this is why I really, as an Eastern European, cannot understand the American system. Like, for them, morality is everything. There's no cynicism, there's no real politics, there's no pragmatism. Well, there probably is, but it's like behind closed doors, right? Like, the politicians are hiding that from the public. But it's usually like, no, this is the moral thing. Like, this is what we're doing, and if you're not doing it, you're immoral. Like, morality comes from the politician top down, you know? And the left does it as well with the wokeness. The right did it as well during the Bush era. It's like, if you do not support the Patriot Act, you're not patriotic. It's like this level of bullshit of governing a society, and then you're wondering, it's like, why do they have so many wars? Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? Because if you don't support the wars, you're immoral, according to the politicians. And the politicians are more worried about being viewed as moral or immoral than to be viewed as their actual policies and what actual economic effects they're having on the people on the ground. Now, finally, what really shocks me in all of this is that I actually lived through the time of the Bush era, right? I lived through the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Like, do you guys remember that? Back then, they were actually trying to persuade the public. Like, I've noticed that. They were genuinely trying to persuade people that there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And they like, literally had debates, and, like, entire channel networks were dedicated in convincing the people that they have weapons of mass destruction. Now they're not even trying. Like, did you notice that, right? Like, they're not even trying to convince people whether or not Iran has nuclear programs, whether or not the intervention is required. It's basically dictated. Like, today you go to sleep, tomorrow you wake up and you find out that America is probably going to partake into military operations anytime soon. You know? It's almost like the citizen doesn't even matter. And if you have different opinions, you go on Twitter or you go into a comment section and you get like some individuals that are arguing with you because, like, why do you dare think differently in a democracy? Like, that's not acceptable, you know? The Middle East, here's the problem. Iran is not a democracy, right? And if you don't get that, you don't have a right to have a different opinion in a democracy. It's mind-blowing. It's not that people have to agree with you, but there's no civility, there's no politeness, there's no engaging dialogue, right? Like, if you think the incorrect things, you're blaspheming, because you're immoral. Again, it's like this hyper-focus on morality, uber alles, is so fucking cringe. And it's also so detrimental to society. Because you look at the effects, you're looking at what exactly is happening on the ground. If people care more about being viewed as moral than people caring about what actual policies and how they affect the world. But it is what it is, you know. Maybe it's going to take 1 or 2 generations till people unfuck themselves. I mean, Eastern Europe managed to unfuck itself. The communists were doing the same. Like, the communists were also obsessed about being viewed as moral. I don't know if they teach you that in American schools, but yeah, like, they were obsessed about the concept of the Soviet man, right? The man of the future. And you needed to be perceived as a man of the future, because that's moral. If you are reactionary, that's immoral. It is what it is. Anyway, right, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.